Good morning. It is Sunday, October 2nd at 9 o'clock in the morning. I am not doing anything fancy for lighting or anything like that because I don't think this is going to be a very long video. My name is Savannah. I am the dyer behind Sewlivi Dyes Yarn. But yesterday, October 1st, was my second anniversary of running the small business. And I also decided that it was time to close the doors on it. It has not been doing so well this past year. And that's fine. I mean, yarn dyeing businesses, there's plenty out there. So I had a big sale. It's still currently going on. A big sale, 50% off almost everything in my shop. Honestly, though, that top row, that's all that's left of yarn anyways. I mean, I have decals and stitch markers still, but that's it right there. From that bright blue back. So that first one, it's not even on the website. So yes, I think by the 15th I'll actually have the website shut down, but I do have the plans of having an Etsy shop. It's already open. It's on vacation mode for the moment. But I have the Etsy because I still want to dye yarn. I'm just not going to do it with the expectation of selling it. Half the time when I dye yarn, it's going to be for experiments, or I'm going to want to dye yarn for a project and I might have extra left over. Like I might dye too much of it and have extra skeins left over, which is the case for this big bulky one. So things like that. If I ever decide I want to sell hand knit items that I no longer wear, those will go on the Etsy. I still plan to offer hand knit socks, so I will make listings over there on Etsy. I just figured this will be a cheaper route for me, you know, more cost effective, because having a website does cost money every month, and I'm not making enough to cover that cost anymore. But with Etsy, you pay the listing fee. I mean, I don't know a lot about Etsy because I've never really used it before, except for buying stuff. But I don't think I've never sold anything on Etsy, so we'll see. But I know there's a small listing fee, so more cost effective that way for me, at least. So yes, that is what is going on in my life with the business. I do appreciate every single person who has ever ordered from me, who's ever just, you know, said kind words about my products on Instagram or here. I really do appreciate it. That has meant a lot to me. So it's not the end, but I'm definitely not going to focus this as a business to make money. It's just going to be for fun. Okay, so, I forgot one more thing upstairs. Oh, well, it's fine. It was just spinning. I finished a bobbin. I still have another fluff nugget to spin onto another bobbin. It's beautiful, but maybe I'll get to show it next week if I remember. Probably not. Sorry. Sorry. I'm trying to do this quickly as well. We have to go grocery shopping later. I have a project that I'm going to show you that is this close to being finished. So I want to get that done today. So yeah, let me go ahead and show you that. Well, I have a finished object first. So the triangle loom that is, I don't know if you can see it in the video. It's right there, the tip of it. My triangle loom has been awesome. I thoroughly enjoy working on that. So I definitely want to make a 7-foot one with better wood so that I can actually hang it on the wall. I think I want to do that. I've thought about getting an easel to put it on like a lot of other people do. I have no idea where that would even go. Having it on the wall, I feel like would be just better for storage and out of the way. Anyways, I did finish the shawl that I was working on. So I finished it, pulled it off. I soaked it. It's acrylic, so I knew it wasn't going to do much of anything, but I soaked it, and because it was acrylic, I'm like, okay, let's just throw it in the dryer. It was mostly dry because I had stuck it out in the sun for a little bit. It was mostly dry. I just didn't want it dripping, you know, the residual water dripping in the house. So I was like, it's acrylic, let's just throw it in the dryer. And I didn't have it on heat. I just had it on tumble dry, you know, no heat, with some towels. But sadly it got snagged. It must have caught on something in my machine and it snagged. So there's that. Also, the top edge did not tighten up at all, which unfortunately, but let me show you. So it goes, okay, so this is the front side. Very see-through, but I guess that's how these are gonna go because of such an open weave. So right here, you see this was a snag, and it snagged all the way across, and I've tried very hard to like open it back up, which it did, but you can see here. And then there was another snag, another snag here, and I can't figure out how to get that back to tighten because I've already, see, and I put my fingers in there. So yeah. Also, I'm not sure what to do with the, well, I was gonna add fringe, but decided against it because I was just like, that's gonna be a big pain in the butt for something that's not perfect. So I have to take that off and then figure out how to weave in the ends. This is the end, and I think, I mean, you know how I've mentioned that I want to make a better one. It's definitely something that probably needs to be done just because the way my pegs are on the sides, they're kind of off shift because I didn't have the same a number. And so the end ended up at the top, and I think it's supposed to end at the bottom. Like you go up over the last peg and then it comes back down, and then you, I think, I haven't seen any like, what's the word? I haven't seen any like videos where you end your shawl. I've only ever seen how to start them and like how to do different techniques. Again, nobody ever shows, unless I just haven't watched the right video yet. I did order a book called Tri-Loom Weaving, I think. That's not here yet, but I heard on Facebook in the Triangle Loom Weaving Facebook group that this book was a really good resource and has helped a lot of people. So once I get here, hopefully I can find out some more information, and it has like different techniques on how to, I think, how to do like plaid, and there's this fun diagonal thing I've seen where you cut really long strands and then you just put each one where it goes, and you go like this. You start here and you go up to the top and then down, and you keep doing that. That looks very fascinating. So, but I wanted to show you. Very lightweight, very soft, but again, I think with the rest of the cake, I think I'm gonna hold it double and see how that works. Other than that, I mean, it's fine, it's beautiful, but definitely a sample. You see the middle two are like right next to each other as well. So yeah, I don't know, but I liked it enough to start one with my hand spun, which I'm going to insert a little clip. All right, before I wind these up into cakes, I just wanted to show you. So these 3 hand spuns, these are the first, I don't know which one was very first, but when I first learned how to spin just over a year ago, these were the first 3 that I did. All these fibers are from Paradise Fibers. This one is called Bermuda, and you can see it's very poorly spun. A lot of overspun, a lot of underspun, thick and thin bits. So I'm going to use these for, what do I want to call it? I'm going to use these for my loom. I just pulled off the project I was working on. I finished it. I pulled it off. It's currently blocking-esque. It's acrylic, it's not really gonna do much. But I want to use these because these are, oh, what did I write on here? Merino, merino, merino. So these are all merino, so it's wool. I want to see how this will work on the loom as well. So again, this one is called Bermuda. It's from Paradise Fibers, and this is just merino. So I'm assuming 100% merino. And it's the only other thing I put on here is about 98 grams, so I don't know the yardage on this. I could probably find out when I wind it up. Actually, I can use my yardage counter. This one, also by Paradise Fibers, is called Once Upon a Time. You might be able to see the sparkle. So this is merino and stellina, and I got about 114 grams of this one. It's very sparkly. And then the last one, also, again, Paradise Fibers. This one's called Under the Sea, and it is merino and stellina as well. But you can see, definitely, I've come a long way in about a year with spinning, which is great. I love it. I spun all these on the electric eel wheel nano. I no longer have that machine. I just was not using it, so I'm not sure how I'm going to use these. So these two are about 114 grams. I'm going to see yardage and then under 100 grams. So maybe this way. I'm not sure considering how the yardage is, but maybe I'll just throw them together, sometimes changing the colors halfway through or something. But other than that, I have no clue what I would use this handspun for, so it's perfect to throw up here on the loom. So that's what we're gonna do. So you can see I have quite a bit of that Lion Brand cake left, so I'm debating on holding that double and doing a shawl, but right now I'm using my handspun. And this is about as far as I got. I've been working on other things currently, but it's looking good. Still an open weave even with thicker yarn, so maybe that's how it's supposed to be. And I got this fun little loom comb. It's very helpful. So yeah. So got sparkles in there, which I don't know if you can fully see, but there's sparkles. And I'm doing, let's see here, I'm changing colors every 4 pegs. And there was a video on YouTube on how to change colors, so it's like that. I can either weave those in or I can add more fringe later, but that's where I'm at. Okay, next. All right, my whips. So this is the Attune Shawl by Andrea Mowry. I've been working on it pretty consistently, monogamously this past week because I wanted to get it done before the Stephen West mystery knit along that twists and turns that starts on Thursday, my birthday. So I want to get this done, which it should be finished today. I have, let's see here, I have 1.5 rows left. 1.5 rows left, and then binding off, which it's just a Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind off, but there is going to be roughly 400 stitches on my needles when I'm finished, so that's going to take a minute. And I'm in the middle of a row. That is why I said I have a half row, so, but it's all squished on the needles anyway, so. This is the back side. This is the front side right there. So this is, she came out with this a couple months ago, the Attune Shawl. I spun all this yarn for this project, and I believe I started it June 1st for a small brioche knit along that a couple of friends wanted to do. So we have brioche on this side, we have half fisherman's rib on this side, and then it switches to this garter, but it is not your typical garter. It is actually So garter would be, you know, you're gonna knit this way and knit back this way and knit this way. Well, because it's done in these stripes, the way Andrea Mowry wanted it set up, it's like every pass is a different color, or well, you know, it's color A and then color B. So I'm actually having to knit and then purl, or I'm knitting and then sliding and then purling and then knitting, sliding, and then, or I'm sorry, oh my gosh, let me restart this. What you do is you knit across, and then you have to slide all your stitches back over, and you're going to take your other color and you're going to purl all the way across. Then you're going to flip it, purl all the way across, slide it back, knit across. So yeah, it's not your normal garter, which was kind of disappointing when I found out, because I was like, finally I can just knit, 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 knit. No, I got a purl. So I know you can't really see it very well because my camera does not focus, but like one lump, like your garter lump on one side is your color, and then the other side of the garter is your main color. But again, yeah, all hand spun. It's all merino. Yes, it's all merino. So my main color is this one, which is from Busy Bee Fibers. It is a ecru and a humbug fiber, which is just a mix of gray and brown. And then I spun them separately and plied them together. So this is my main color. And then my contrasting color was, I bought 2 separate scrappy bundles. They're the scrappy sock bundles from Wound Up Fibers. Really love these things. So you get a handful of mini bundles. I don't know if there's a certain number you get in the bag, or if there's a certain amount of grams per, you know, or ounces per little bundle. I don't know. I bought 2 of them at very different times, so none of them were the same. So the first one was all these colors. I do want to say, let's see, did I weave in the end already? So I have no clue where my colors changed. This one was part of the, cutting it was part of the instructions, so that's not where I changed. It was somewhere here in the garter. I think it was after the green, to be honest. So like I was saying, all that was in the first one, and then here's what's left of the second one, which was more muted colors, which was fine, very pretty. All I did was I took each bundle, separated them into 2 pieces, and then I took every single bundle and spun them end to end, and then took the other half of those bundles, did the same thing, and then just plied it all together. So there are some areas where the colors match up, and then there's other areas where the other colors kind of like shift into the new colors. It's very fun. So yeah, I spun all that up for this, and I very much love it. It's very squishy and warm, and it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for it to be done. I'm sorry that I can't show it well. I mean, even if it wasn't in the middle of a row, I wouldn't be able to show very well, just because it is on a shorter cable. What is this? I think these are US 4s. Yeah, US 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles, and it is on a, I just have it on a 30-inch cable. You know, but I'm almost done. Again, I've been working on it like crazy. Okay, let's just throw that all over there. Next whip is also a new start. So it's also part of my acquisitions. It's all in one, right there. I was on Instagram the other day. I want to say it was like Monday, Tuesday, maybe. Monday, Tuesday. And there's a lady I follow. Her handle is Crow and Crescent Yarns. She makes beautiful, beautiful yarn. Well, she was offering this kit. It was a sock kit. So it was the main color, 2 10-gram minis, and then you get a pattern and a stitch marker. And I'm like, for the price that she was selling it for, I was like, that's not bad. I'm like, okay, cool. So I ordered it, and she immediately shipped it out. So I had it by Friday. I had it before Friday because I started this on Friday. I was like, dang. So yeah, Crow and Crescent Yarn Co. I got the Spooky Sock Kit. Again, it came with the pattern and a little stitch marker. This is the Callisto sock, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 100 grams or 463 yards, and then two 10-gram minis. And let me show you the yarn real quick. So here's the mane, absolutely beautiful. Sorry, I'm trying not to drop anything. And then here's the two 10-gram minis. And it was a sock pattern called Spooky Socks, of course. No, of course I'm in the middle of a row. I'm so sorry. We'll be okay though. Let me just pull this through a little. I have not got very far because it is a little bit complex. But I got the toe finished on Friday, and I got started on the color work. This color work is only on the top of the foot. Honestly though, when I first saw the picture, I thought the color work was on the back of the heel, which I thought was kind of cool, but then I realized it was actually on the top of the foot. But that's the only color work. So there's no color work on the back. She has instructions, a video tutorial on how to do ladder back jacquard. So that's what I'm doing, which is, I wouldn't say it's super tricky. It's definitely not as fast going for me color work wise. I can't hold both colors in separate hands. That's just not a possibility with this, unfortunately, but I'm doing that on the inside. And so the sock, I should have inserted a photo already, but it'll say spooky across it. So this is the SP and the O for the first sock. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. This yarn is very lovely. Like, look at that. So lovely. Also, the way the pattern or the way the words are written, you're going to do half the color in, or half the words in one color and then switch the other one, and then you duplicate stitch little specks. So it almost looks like it's faded without actually having to do, you know, hold all three strands of yarn, which is kind of nice. I'm just hoping that everything turns out, because you can see this ridge right here. That's your setup row for the ladder back jacquard. So I'm hoping blocking will take care of that. Again, that's what it looks like. You're creating a fabric on the inside, so you don't have long floats, or if when you stretch this out, like look, I'm stretching it out, you can't see the orange through it. That's what it's like. You're creating another fabric on the inside. It's different. I've only done it one other time and I was not enjoying it, so I stopped doing it and just did really long floats. It was on a cowl, it wasn't a big deal, but yeah. So spooky socks for Halloween. I had to, it's October, right? So that's all that I've been working on, and the weaving and the spinning. So 4 projects at a time-ish. It's okay. And I'm about to have a lot of time because my children have 2 weeks of fall break coming up soon. So I'm gonna have plenty of time. But most of that time is probably gonna be for the Stephen West knit along. So we'll see. All right, last thing I wanted to talk about before acquisitions, because I have a few that I forgot to bring over, but I'll get them. I'm pretty sure I mentioned the rug sweater last week in my video and how I was really interested in knitting it. And I said I was going to swatch with some yarn that I have here to see if I could hit gauge with it. Well, I did, and I can't hit gauge. I don't understand, because a lot of people have knit their rug sweaters with, this is Wonder Fluff by Knit Picks. I just have this extra ball left over from a project. I can't hit gauge. So this was the called for needle. I went up one size and I'm still off. I don't think I want to go up one more size because then the gauge of the fabric will be wide open, like, and I don't want it so open. I really like the way that the 9 looks, like the density of the stitches. You can see that the 10 is kind of see-through. Yeah. So I'm really bummed. I've looked through other people's, okay, so I'm only talking about this because I can't find the called for yarn at all. I think it's some kind of New Zealand yarn. It's Zelana Tui or Tui. I'm not sure. I can't find where to get this yarn at all. When I go into yarnsub.com and I type in that yarn, it doesn't even come up. Other styles of that brand, that Zelana, comes up, but not that specific one. So I'm wondering if it's discontinued. This pattern was written in 2017. And after making these swatches, I was trying to go in and check to see, I'm like, okay, well, what size would I make? It's a one size pattern. So I was like, well, shit. Dang it. That means I'm kind of stuck. If I want to make it with this type of yarn, mine's not going to be as oversized. I've looked at other people's project pages, and a lot of people have made this pattern. A lot of people use, is it Cascade Eco Wool? I use that. I don't have any to swatch with. A lot of people have actually used Holst Garn, you know, my favorite stuff in the big cones, but they hold 3 strands together. Maybe I will test that and see, but I really don't think I would hit gauge holding 3 strands of that together. That's a very thin fingering weight yarn. Yes, it blooms a little bit after blocking, but yeah, I've looked at other bulky weight yarns on like Knit Picks, but I don't want to order it and then I'm not able to hit gauge with it, because bulky weight sweaters, I don't knit them quite often, so I don't want to hold sweaters quantity of it. I've tried with worsted weight as well. Obviously that's smaller than this. This is a bulky weight, a light bulky weight thing. What else have I thought about? I don't know, I think that was it really. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really love the look of this sweater. I have my color ideas already in my head. I even did a test dye of the colorway that I want, which I'll show you in a minute. But the fact that I can't figure out what kind of yarn I would use, because again, I want mine to be the oversized look. I've seen other people's where theirs are smaller, like more form-fitting, and it's just, that's not what I want. I want the big oversize. And because it's only a one size pattern, it's also a free pattern, if I did not mention that before. It's by Yoko Matimo. I can't remember. I'll try to link it below. But yeah, so I'm kind of stuck there. I'm a little sad. I really wanted it, but I might not end up making it. Anyways, okay, let me get my acquisitions. Sorry about that. Okay, first, before the acquisitions, let me go ahead and show you the colorway that I did dye up. So this is it. I did do a little the dye bath was not exhausting because this color that I was using, I mean, it's 2 colors mixed together, but one of the colors is very potent and does not like to exhaust very well, so I do throw in a mini, and it actually looks really nice together. But this is the color I would want my rug. So I want a sweater in this color. It's absolutely gorgeous. It turned out exactly how I was hoping. So beautiful. So I have a little mini sock set if I ever want to use this. And what's fun about this mini, you're not going to be able to see it probably, is that for some reason the dye crashed out of solution. That's the term they use. Like, it wasn't dissolved all the way. And this mini picked up the tiniest of speckles, like deep red speckles. Well, I guess burgundy speckles, but it's so fun. I'm like, what? That is so cool. Like the tiniest of speckles. So yeah, I really do want a sweater or a cardigan or something in this color. So that'll have to be, I wrote down the recipe, so I know that'll have to be something in the future. All right, let's go ahead into my acquisitions. So the first ones I'm going to show you are actually from like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't remember if I showed you them or not, to be honest. I don't remember, but they're 2 cones from Holst Garn. They're the 500 gram cones. So I wanted brown because I know I mentioned in the past that I want to make a brown sweater. So I got a brown, but ordering from Holst Garn, cost effective shipping, you should order at least 3 cones to get the best shipping cost. I only ordered 2 this time, and I was like, that's okay. And I only ordered 2 because this one, so I was looking at the browns on the website, and the brown that I wanted was there, but the very next color was like, wow, that's a really pretty color. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and get it. It's fine. So here's the first one. This is the brown that I got. This is called Coffee. So it's Holst Garn Super Soft, which is their fingering weight. It's 100% wool, and I absolutely love it. It does, like I said, it's very thin, but it does bloom because Holst Garn, this is like 25 bucks for this cone. Holst Garn keeps the spinning oils on it, and that's how it is cost effective. So once you wash it, you get rid of those spinning oils and it blooms up a little bit more. I haven't made a garment by itself with, I made some fingerless mitts with Holst Garn, but I haven't made a full garment with just this by itself. I've held it with mohair in a different sweater, but yes. So I bought this brown. What sweater I'll make, I don't know, but I'm sure I'll come up with something, probably something very simple and plain. I was thinking about something from either Petite Knits or oh my gosh, there was another sweater, just something plain, no texture, no nothing, just an oversized brown sweater would be really nice, I think. So again, I got Coffee, and then this is the color that was right next to it on the website, and it just looked amazing. So this is Jasper. Again, it's the super soft 100% wool. It's 500 grams. It doesn't tell you like yardage or anything like that, but it's this very beautiful, it's multicolored. It's this reddish color, but it also has specks of blue and brighter red. Really, that's it. It's got specks of blue and pops of like a brighter red, because it's not brown. It's really pretty, really pretty. So this is Jasper. So these were like 2 weeks ago. And shortly after I made that order, before it even got here, I made another order with Holst Garn because I really, really wanted their shade card, and it was out of stock when I ordered the cones. So I put in my email address to be notified. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this. But this by itself with the shipping was kind of dumb, so I got some mini skeins. But let me show you the shade card. So this is the shade card for Holst Garn Super Soft. I don't know what this is right here, why they're saying 100 grams is 575 meters, because you can only get Holst Garn in 50 gram cakes and 500 gram cones. That's the only way you can get Holst Garn that I'm aware of. That's all I've ever seen. But yes, this is every shade for the 2022-2023. So at least that's what it says here. So every shade. And I'm like, because I was tired of making guesses by looking at the pictures on the website, because I've made one mistake already. I ordered a cone. Oh, I can't see very well. Ordered a cone of this color right here, Prussia, thinking it was a navy blue, but it's actually a deep purple. The blue that I would want is actually called Vintage Heather. which is right. Yeah, it's really dark navy blue. But yes, this is every color, and I love that I can just like, if I know, because red. Okay, so like I said, I want a red sweater or a red cardigan or something like that. But looking online, I couldn't ever figure out which red would be the right red. Now I can tell, and I think, well, this one is, oh, I can't pronounce that name. Like, this is a red, a good one. I think I would actually prefer to go with a Venetian, just a little bit deeper. This one up here is kind of an orangey red, and that one is called Bocara. I don't know. And Poppy down here is just too bright. But yeah, I love this. I love having this now, so I can actually see before I make a purchase. So yeah, again, this was like 10 bucks, but the shipping was gonna be a lot more because it's coming from Denmark. So I decided to throw in some cakes, several cakes, because I really want to make the rose cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I'm a little nervous about it. It is a big cabled sweater, but it is a faded sweater. I did buy all these green ones a while back to make it, but I'm not sure if I want a green one. Her sample is in pink. At least it starts dark pink and fades all the way to like a light pink. So I decided, because I was like, well, what am I gonna buy? I bought pinks, and I figured I could do a darker pink all the way. And then I have that big cone of ecru. That could be like the main color. And I also have a big cone of sweet pea. It doesn't really fit with these ones because sweet pea is a little bit on the purple side of pink, but I think it could still work. But I got these. I mean, if this is enough, that'd be fine too. I just kind of guessed off of what I got there. Again, the rose cardigan by Andrea Mowry is a sport weight sweater, and these are fingering, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. So I ordered for like the wrist area, the darker part, because I think you start here and you're gonna knit across. I don't know if it's joined in the middle or if it's just a continuous thing. I don't know. So I started with this one. This is peony. It's really pretty. So these are the 50-gram cakes. They're 287 meters, 314 yards. So they're really good, like really good quality. These are like $4 a pop. They're under 4. It's just I'm rounding up because I don't know what the change is. The next color, I got 3 skeins of this pretty color. This one is called allium, maybe. Where's the name? Oops, upside down. Allium, possibly. So that's the next color. And then the lightest color before I would switch to like the ecru, this one is called Candy Floss. So it looks like that. Candy Floss. And so sweet pea, like I said, sweet pea is kind of a purple pink. So what I should have done, if I wanted to keep it all in the same family, I should have started this one as the darkest one, and then went up, because I got peony, allium, and then candy floss. My sweet pea is this one right here, down in the purples. This is a purpley pink, but I think it could still work. And then they don't actually have ecru on here. They have one called almond, and then the bleached white. So, but I have a big cone of the ecru. So yeah, I ordered yarn, guys. I haven't ordered yarn in a long time, and I ordered all this. So hopefully this winter I can start this project. Hopefully. We will see. Anyways, I think that is all that I had to share. I think that is it. I've put all my cones, they used to be up here. I put them all in my I have a Billy bookcase with doors that I put all my hand knits in. I have an empty shelf currently until I fill it up with more hand knits, but these fit on there. What I have anyways, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, hold on, gray, pink, blue, or purple, black and white, gray, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 cones so far, and they all fit on one shelf, so that's good, because I was running out of room up here very quickly. So yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go, do laundry, grocery shop, finish the shawl. Yes, it is going to get done today. And I'll see you guys next week, okay? Bye.